In this video, I'll be going through a collection of sealed product that I recently bought. I've actually already been through the box. The first time I recorded the video, I didn't notice that on the inside there was some personal information, some boxes that had addresses on them. Plus everything was wrapped up in bubble wrap, real nice, packed very well. It was great for getting it shipped here, but it was kind of hard to see some things. So I'll be doing a History Channel reenactment of the original opening, and just like the History Channel, there'll probably be lots of aliens. So this was kind of a survey, one of everything in the sealed product catalog for Star Wars CCG. No booster boxes, but everything broken down basically to the next level. So on the top here we got 2 starter decks, Light Side and Dark Side Special Edition. These were kind of cool in that it had a lot of randomization, but also a lot of fixed cards. I believe it was 22 fixed cards that you'd get in there, so 22 for each side, so you'd get the same ones in every deck. And some of them are pretty useful. They're those diamond sights that can deploy to any planet. Nowadays, it's not quite as playable because of some of the shields and things, but it was definitely a cool idea to expand Star Wars to planets that really didn't show up in the movies too much, maybe were only mentioned. And we got one of each anthology in here. So the first anthology, and a couple of starter decks, and booster packs, and a Jedi pack, plus some neat rules supplements. And then these boxes are always nice. They're a pain to ship, but they're definitely awesome for storing cards. I stored a lot of the loose rares that I have for my store in these. So like each set has its own box. Whenever anybody needs rares for their sets or decks, they're real nice and organized and easy to get out. Underneath that's a second anthology. And this one's a little bit wrinkled, but yeah, probably, I mean, this is in decent shape, and if this is the worst shape of anything in the box, then we're doing pretty well. But similar to before, lots of packs, so Cloud City and Dagobah in there as well, plus the preview cards from Death Star 2 and Endor, which, of course, hadn't been out yet if they're preview cards. I bought a couple of these, the third anthology from my local gaming store many years ago, and always liked the R2 and Red 5 card. Plus, tried to blow up the Death Star with this objective. I still have an old Legacy style deck from the old virtual cards made with that, and it's a lot of fun to break out every now and then. There's also sealed decks in here. So we got the official tournament sealed deck, 6 packs I believe, plus 18 special premium cards that make playing sealed games easier. A lot of basic stuff in terms of ships and planets. And then the Jabba's Palace one, 6 packs of Jabba's Palace I believe, and then 20 cards. And you'd always get a Jabba and a Lando in here, so that was always nice to have a main character to play your sealed decks with. And Lando was pretty good. He could kick people out of battle, and there weren't too many options in sealed play to cancel that, from what I recall. Okay, going in reverse order of these enhanced sets. So lots of packs in here, plus premium cards, 3 premium cards in each. That's the Mara Jade one. That was the big seller. And it still is the big seller of this set. And then the other 2 Jabba's Palace are going to be Luke and Leia. I loved going to Wizards of the Coast retail stores. I remember there was one at my local mall, and I saw these and said, "Oh wow, I can get a Luke without having to open 40 packs." So that was pretty cool. Plus, he's a decent card as long as he's not around Vader. Cloud City ones now. So Lando and IG-88, an IG-8 that can instantly capture somebody is always fun to play with. Can really mess up somebody's day. And then the 2 others, Chewie and then Boba in his ship. Very expensive card in terms of trying to deploy him on the table, but he is pretty powerful. He's since got a virtualization to make him a bit cheaper to deploy without making him unplayable. The enhanced Premier decks now, 6 of these, unlike the 4 of the other 2 sets. Luke and Vader were the 2 most printed. In most distributions of these, they came in boxes of 12. There were 3 Lukes and 3 Vaders. Got an Obi-Wan and a Han. The Han's a bit beat up, but still sealed. And then Leia and Boba. So Boba and Obi-Wan, those were 2 per box, and then Leia and Han were 1 per box. Leia and Han are definitely the much rarer ones. It's hard to keep them in stock in my store. Okay, these are interesting. Not really decks, but when you bought the Premier or the Hoth 2-player introductory games, these are the, I guess you could call them decks that you'd get in there. So you'd get one of these for each side, and then a pack as well. So it was a nice way to get started. They were decks designed to play each other. From the game text here, these characters weren't really supposed to be played outside of that introductory format, just because once you get multiple unique characters on the table, they can't even deploy. But over the years, these have gotten virtual versions, and the Luke was a T16 pot, which kind of makes sense. That was a fun to play in a Beggar's Canyon deck. And then Vader, I think, was an anti-Jedi Vader, which makes sense according to his lore there. Alright, these weren't the original boxes. Those had some addresses on them, but I always thought these were cool. So here we have a pretty big mixture of miscellaneous things. Ooh, that's nice. We'll take a look at that later. So these are the decks that would be in the Jabba's Palace sealed boxes. Sealed decks, I should say. First Anthology Premium Packs, a couple of those. Second Anthology Premium Packs, that was mostly Endor Death Star 2 cards. I think Sarlacc was in there for some reason, even though it was a special edition card. And then 2, 3, 4... Okay, so 5 different Third Anthology Premium Packs, all with a different picture on top. I think the only one missing is the Massassi base operations, the light side objective, and that's actually it right here. So this is the back of it. But yeah, I wonder if there's one out there that has the Massassi base operations on the top. That would be a nice arrangement to have. So all 6 of those. Most of the ones I've seen have this on the top. But the R2 one is definitely cool too. A couple of Jedi packs. So these had playable versions of the main characters. They weren't really any good, but hey, if you wanted to have a Tarkin, Mahdi, and Mahdi together, you'd be able to do that with these. And not nearly as good as the actual version printed in the main sets, but it was free and it got players a chance to get some main characters so they could play their solo Hans or their Warrior's Courages with their Leia or Han. And those are the official tournament sealed deck packs. So 18 cards in here, a good mixture of starships and locations, just to make sealed play a bit more interactive, hopefully. Okay. So we saw the Japanese foil Vader on top. So these were box toppers when you bought a Reflections 2 box. Obi-Wan, Leia, Boba, and Han, you'd get one of those randomly on top of your box, and inside a case were 6 boxes, and on top of a case you'd get this guy. So I don't know if I've had one sealed in the package already, but that is a very neat looking card. Sometimes this gets mixed up with the Premier Black Border Japanese Vader, which is worth probably 8 times as much. It's the same image, but of course this one's a foil, and a lot of people think foils are rare. That's not always the case. R3PO, this was because there was an error that they made when they printed the same droid with 2 images. This is the correct image you could mail in for this one, and these are actually pretty rare nowadays. It's a $20 card in the package and probably $15 outside of the package. It's like the 163rd card of the 162 card Hoth set. Here's Asteroid Sanctuary, not something else you could mail in for. I've always heard conflicting stories as to whether they actually made an error or they made like a design error, or if it was just a print error. But the way I heard it was a design error that was so bad they said, "Oh, we messed up and didn't mean to print that." Who knows? There's a lot of history to that I was pretty young when it was happening, so I'm not sure. And then the Rebel Leader packs. So 2 of them. Oh, sorry about the glare there. 2 of them with Red Leader and Gold Leader. Pretty useful cards with sort of a high deploy cost, but back in the day these would have been pretty useful starships. Having a permanent pilot with ability of 2, that adds power. That is definitely a good thing to have in your deck. Especially, you know, back when I didn't have many ships at all. Okay. So another box. Okay, so here's our starter decks. I couldn't remember if I put packs or starter decks in here. Death Star 2 starter decks. So we got a dark side one. And the light side. These are pre-constructed, so you're always going to get the same characters in there. Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight's on the box, but you'll never get one of him in here. He's only in the packs. There is, however, an Akbar, a Han, and a Chewie in the light side one, and a couple of nice walkers, and an Admiral Piet in the dark side one. And before getting this box in, I don't think I've ever had a Japanese Premier starter deck in my hands, so that's pretty neat. I have a couple empty starter deck boxes, so this is the first one I've had. I might open that one or I might save it. I'm not sure yet. And then the other 2 starter decks. Whoops. A lot of packages have fragile packaging, but these starter decks I always thought were sturdy. So we got Unlimited and Limited Edition Premier starter deck, 60 cards. That's probably 30 for each side. And you always get 2 rares in there. So inside there could be Vaders, Hans, Lukes, any of those things. Most often, though, I get Cantinas. And finally, this is a sampling of all the booster packs. So kind of going more or less in order of the sets, it looks like. Whoops. So Premier white and black border, or I should say black and white border. Same thing with New Hope and Hoth. Dagobah as well. So those sets were all printed in white border and black border back when they weren't always so consistent on wording. So the sets 2 through 4 were all reprinted with better, more consistent wording with the new game. Cloud City Jabba's Palace in Special Edition. Some of the first packs I ever got were Special Edition. I think the first main character I ever got from a pack was the Leia from here. Either that or the white border Commander Luke Skywalker. Reflections are always among my favorite to open. We're going in chronological order here, so Endor and Death Star 2, and then Reflections 2, which had a lot of cards foiled from Endor and Death Star 2 in it. And then finally the newer packs, which are the rarer ones. So Tatooine and Coruscant, the first full booster box I ever got was a Tatooine. I remember getting a Qui-Gon alternate image, and I think a Darth Maul alternate image in the same box. Reflections 3, most expensive English pack in the game, might be the most expensive, including Japanese as well, but lots of really valuable cards you could get in here in terms of, it probably doesn't always justify the cost, but there's a good amount of $25 plus premiums, of which you get 3. So you get 3 premiums. There's some pretty good ones you could get in there. Not all of them are worth that much, of course. And then some of the more rare foils in the game, like the Maul Young Apprentice alternate image, Qui-Gon. And then some Japanese packs, which I've only ever had one of each before today. So one of each. Now that I have an extra, I'll probably open one of each at some point on my channel. But this was a great sampling of all the different sealed products you could get, and I'll probably use it as the basis for a series of videos. Opening an anthology. If you've watched my original first anthology video, the box had previously been opened, but this one looks real nice. So that'll be good to open an authentic, untampered one. Everything was in good shape, packed well, so I'm very pleased with this collection buy, and it'll make a good basis for further videos. Hope you enjoyed this video, and hope you watch the ones that will come out of it. Thanks for watching.